Hey folks, Jonathan here. Alright, back on the transmission swap in the Buick. Okay, one thing I forgot is I needed some oven cleaner. I do use oven cleaner. I know a few people have mentioned that. I keep talking about pressure washing, but I do spray this stuff down with oven cleaner usually before. And I like the cheap stuff from the dollar store. But anyway, I didn't get any. I did go to the auto parts store this morning. And first time I've even been there in a while. But I needed to get something to make a bushing, so that's why I went. Okay, a couple things. All right, we are going to reseal this whole thing. I've got a rear seal coming. They make a new rubber rear seal that goes in these with a lip on it, but I don't trust it. So, because they've had some issues with them leaking and stuff. So I've got a rope seal coming, the original style. We'll just put a rope seal back in it. It's a little harder to do, but you know, we've never let that stop us on anything else. Probably I'll either adapt a fuel pump to this or just run an electric. Probably adapt one because it's going to be easy, because that arm can't be too long. That camshaft's right inside there. Probably be able to get something hooked up to where it don't have a vacuum pump, and because we really don't need the vacuum pump also. So let me see. We don't have a generator, but I do have a pulley for it, so we can put alternator or whatever we want on it. There'd be no issue there. Okay. As for the exhaust and the intake, okay, I'm going to build a header for this, and possibly zoomies, or possibly me and a friend of mine that I tractor pull with, you know, that we built pulling tractors together. We had spoke about the firing order on this, trying to figure out what cylinders needed to match together if you was going to run dual exhaust, and we've come up with 1 and 2, 7 and 8 together, and then 3, 4, 5, and 6 together. So I may do that, and then again I might just run zoomies and run, you know, 8 pipes out, and then I want to do an intake, possibly 3 2-barrel Strongbergs, maybe 3 1-barrels, something. We're going to do something different for it. That'll be later on, but I'm going to tell you what the plans are for this engine. I've got some parts that I've been saving up, and hopefully I've got a piece coming later today that I need that's going to help out a lot. But what I want to do is, you know, I've got a coupe, I've got the Roadster. I want a Roadster pickup, Model A. You know, if you remember the one that comes driving up in Happy Days, I like that style. You know, with the longer bed, not like a T-bucket with a short bed. But and you know, we've got a 6-foot brake. We can make a bed. I'm not worried about that. I've got a set of doors that Noah found at the dump that I bought from him, and then I've got a cow hopefully coming, possibly today, a 30-31 cow, and then all I would leave me doing is building the back section of the body, and I want to build it a little extra long, just to make sure we've got enough room. Anyway, that's the plan. That's what I want to put this in with the 5-speed. It would be neat, especially if I, you know, run zoomies or something like that on it. And zoomies, for anybody that don't know, are just single exhaust pipes. So it would have 8 singles running, you know, down a little bit and back a little bit, and just 8 separate pipes. But I don't know how it would sound. I mean, that's the whole deal. But anyway, let me see. The way this is set up, this is a big giant pain to get this flywheel off this engine, and we like to got it out of there without having to pull the oil pan. I had to knock all the studs in with a punch to be able to even get the flywheel down out of there. I don't think this thing is made to take the flywheel off with, well, you got to do it with the bell housing on, because the bell housing bolts from the inside, you can't get to it. But I think you're supposed to have the pan and this seal bracket off to be able to knock these studs out and knock them back in when you put the flywheel on. So the plan is to clean this engine up, get it really good and clean. We're going to pull the pan, we're going to pull this bearing cap, or not bearing cap, but a seal cap. It should be separate from the bearing. We're going to pull that, and that's where the rope seal's at anyway. Then we're going to put the back together, and then we'll put the new rope seal and stuff in it. But like I said, the problem's going to have to be, you know, getting it cleaned up, because it's definitely a dirty engine. oily as can be. But like I said, you know, if anybody that hadn't seen this run, this engine here ran just as good as any I've got. We couldn't make it smoke. I mean, it just purred right along, no noises. Really good engine. I don't think we got any issues with that. So anyway, let me show you where we're at on pilot bushing. Okay folks, as you can see, I bought 4 pilot bushings. Now these are conversion bushings, and when I say conversion bushings, what I mean is the center hole is Chevrolet, the outside is Ford. And one reason I bought them is the outside of the OD of this is exactly the same as our Cadillac engine. Don't know why, it just is. So that's one less thing we got to change. The ID is smaller on this, so I'm going to bore it out. Now, why did I buy 4 of them? Well, because it was $3 a piece, and it's nice to have some extras, you know, to machine on, or you know, if we need to make some later. So I just went ahead and bought what they had in stock. And then but here's the bad thing about new model bronze bushings. You know, the bushing would be absolute best if it's 100% bronze, no bronze or no steel or anything in it whatsoever. But, and you can see that is oily. These are dry as can be. That's actually oil that's impregnated in them things. And what's happening is they're in the sunlight out here, and that heat's bringing it out. The problem I have with these bushings, this is a magnet, and as you can see, it picks it up. Well, that tells me there's a lot of steel in it, and that's not good on a shaft on your transmission, and it's actually not recommended. But because we're not running this thing every day, and you know, it's not one of my rollbacks, there's nothing like that, I'm not going to worry about it too much. We'll get these things out of the sun so they don't blow all the oil out of them. So anyway, that's what we got. That's what we're using. And I've just got to bore the center hole out to the size of the Ford transmission, and should be able to get one in there. All right, want to give them a CAT scan? What do you think? They all right? You okay? That's a cat rub. That wasn't really a scan, I don't reckon. All right. Well, there we go, folks. Center's bored, bushing's in. It's done. Now we're going to do a little cleanup and move a few things around the coupe and stuff, so I can get in here and or back up here and start pressure washing some stuff. All right, it's actually cleaning up a whole lot better than I thought it was going to. Hadn't got any oven cleaner yet, but you got to get the heavy stuff off first anyway. So we'll get her all cleaned up good, and then we'll figure out what color we're going to paint the engine, and we'll go ahead and get the pan off, and then start getting everything back together on the back side, the clutch and everything. Like I said, we're going to reseal the pan, the rear seal, maybe the front seal, and definitely the valve cover and the lifter cover on the side. And that'll get all our, it should take care of our oil issues. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do on the fuel pump. And that's about it. Looking good though. I like this engine. This is nice and simple. Just like I like them. Okay folks, we've got the pan off, and it's not gummed up real bad. Actually not bad at all. Nothing in the pan that of any interest anyway. No metal or anything like that. Okay, so it's got the seal and the rear main is the same cap, which some are, some aren't. That's fine. So we've got that off. We've got the seal out. I've run it all the way out. So now we're gonna go ahead and put the bell housing on, the flywheel on, and start some on the rear part. We may bolt the pan back on with just a few bolts, just temporary, until our gaskets come in and seal. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this back half taken care of so we know it's right, and then we'll just go from there. This was what I was talking about right here. When the studs were in here, the flywheel was back. When you was trying to slide it up in or slide it out, it was they were hitting it. So I'm hoping now that we'll be able to slide it up in, put it in, and then come through the backside with the bolts. And that way we can, we'll have room, because there just wasn't room to do it the other way. And I took a punch and went through and actually punched each one of them bolts as far in as I could, and we still had a hard time. But I just didn't want to fight with it trying to get it back together that way. So let's see if it'll go up. That was much nicer. Now I have to hammer the bolt in because they're pressed. Actually pressed through. Alright, it's gonna work, thank goodness. Turn it over and keep tightening it, that'll make it easy. I left enough of my mark I could see it. Lined it up back where it was, so now we'll get everything folded up and together, and then we'll get the clutch pressure plate on, and start bearing, all that good stuff, and then we'll try to see if we can get the transmission on. Okay folks, got it lined up, it's all in there. Get the clutch fork, throw it burn in, see if we can get it together. You know, I used to lay under the cars and have my feet facing, you know, toward the bumper, and pull myself up and look up in here and line it up by eye, because I never had a lineup till when I was young. I've done a bunch of them, but them days are over. Okay, so here's the throw it burn in the hole. Got plenty of room in there. So now I'm going to let it down some so I can slide that transmission in. I can't let it all the way down because I still get the oil pan off. All right. I'm still going to put lock washers on here. This is just temporary. We'll have this transmission back off. We'll see how it fit and how it looked. We'll pick it back up and see if we can see up inside and make sure everything's clear and good. Alright, looks good. I don't see where it would be touching anything. See, we got plenty of room in there. See, no issues whatsoever. I think everything will be just fine. Went together really good. Slid right in. No issues at all. So I think now we'll put a couple bolts in an oil pan and set this thing down. Okay folks, there you go. Straight 8. I think it's a, what did we figure out? 263? I think that's what it is. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Anyway, I think it's 263 cubic inch with a 5-speed T5 four-warner. Worked out really well. Gonna have no issues, I'm sure. And just need to, like I said, change out some stuff on this to seal it up good. New rear seal. And of course we got to do everything we need to do to the engine. So that's it. We're going to put this on hold for a little while and go ahead and stash it away. I do have the rear seal and all that coming for it, gaskets, and we're going to go ahead and sometime get the header together, but we're in no rush on this. So tomorrow it's back on this. So we're gonna do the fan, get that right. Go and get a radiator mounted, get a grill shell on, start making our hoses. We gotta weld them yet. Don't let me forget to weld them. And that's it. We'll be ready to ride with this one before too long. Appreciate everybody that hung out and watched this. Like I said, I know it's not exciting video. It's really not. But I mean, but for somebody that wants to learn it, that's the reason I do it. And you know, I enjoy updating stuff like this. You know, no matter what anybody says, the difference when you put a 5-speed behind one of these engines, the driving difference, it's amazing. You know, you're getting good power at low end because, you know, 99% of the time you got a really low geared rear end, and then your overdrive puts you, you know, good at a higher speed, and it just makes, you know, it makes it so much nicer to drive. They shift so well, and you know, you can keep your RPMs down on your engine. You know, when it comes time to keep up with traffic, you don't have to go out there and run, you know, 6,000 RPMs and worry about them, you know, running you over, because everybody wants to run 70 and 80 mile an hour now. With 5-speed, you know, you can run up there with them, and you don't have to be turning the engine so bad that, you know, you kill it. You know, maybe we'll do another one some other time. We've still got a Packard engine. We still got a 389 Pontiac that I've got a 3-deuce intake for. I'm going to try to hunt up some more of the 3-volt carburetors, and like the one I was sent, like the one we had on here, and we will we'll probably, I may go with 3 of them on this, or I may go with 3 1-barrels. I'm not sure. Whatever I find is what we're going to go with on it. Anyway, appreciate everybody watching, and until next time, bye.